Hi everyone, this is Lada from astrolada.com. Thank you for joining me at this live broadcast today. And today the topic will be extremely interesting about remedies and how to overcome difficult transits, how to go not against the universe and the cosmos, but together with the universe, what to do in order to get the best benefits of any difficult transits or difficult birth positions in the horoscope. And today with me, I have here Western astrologer Diana Bakalova. Hello, Diana. Thank you for joining us, Diana. It's the first time I present Diana. I've known her for the last couple of months, and she's turning out to be an amazing astrologer. The few clients she had, they all sent back amazing feedback. And Diana is not only practicing astrologer, but certified doctor, psychologist, and practicing psychology as well. So she has amazing insights into astrology, not just predicting, but also going to the depth of your soul. So Diana, would you tell us just a couple of, minutes, how you got into astrology and what kind of astrology do you practice for our viewers to know? Yes. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Diana, just a second. Everyone is writing to us that they cannot hear you. They no sound since the beginning and no one can hear you. That is, well, can you try changing some of the settings again? Let me see let's see what people are saying. No, they say we can only hear Alada. Nope. She's changing the settings of her laptop, but it doesn't seem to be working. And they say no sound at all. Take off your ear. It's, yeah, guys, we were quite late. So can you hear now? I hear you, but it seems people can't hear you there. They're saying there is no sound. Well, I guess, guys, we'll have to interrupt because we're having technical issues. We needed 20 minutes to 20 minutes to fix it, and we couldn't. I can hear now, Diana, but you can't hear. Yeah, people say they can only hear me. Well, sorry about that. Yeah, Diana said maybe Mercury is still, giving problems because it's stationary still today. So it's slowly turning back. The planets give the most impact and most difficulty when they're stationary about to turn. That is very annoying. I can take and unplug the headset. We tried unplugging them and plugging them, guys, but we can't hear Diana, and she was going to give us the information how to deal with psychologically and with special rituals and practices with difficult transits and difficult positions in the horoscope. So we'll try to sort it out and maybe come back in a few days. I don't know what else to say, to be honest, and we'll schedule it for another day. There are lots of people waiting here to hear us.
What can we do now?
We can be testing it outside, maybe get a different laptop from your side.
I'll try another one, but let's see.
Some they don't hear you. Okay, guys, I'm gonna stop the broadcast. Sorry about that. They said I can hear now. I can hear.
Really?
Can hear, Diana. Yes, we can hear. Hearing now. What happened?
I don't know. I've changed nothing.
Okay, sounds good now. Sounds good. Have natal, cardinal, ground, cross, hill. It's working. We can hear. Perfect. Okay.
Okay. So now
a slow start.
Everybody hearing me?
Yay! We're so glad. Thank you guys for the positive energy. I'm reading the comments here.
So
yeah.
Again, hello everybody. Happy New Year. Wish you much luck, health, and success. And of course, good stars.
Yeah, they don't depend on us, the good stars. You tell us how to conquer our stars and how to rule them. That's what this conversation will be today about, how to be able to overcome difficult influences in the birth chart. But first of all, can you present yourself? Because Diana is our doctor, PhD. We have a PhD at Astrolada, and she combines cognitive therapy and psychology for many years with astrology, yes?
Yeah, I try to, and I guess it's successful so far. What about me? I've been practicing astrology for about 7 years now, and I've studied and been practicing psychology for maybe most of my life. So, hello, you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. So now I combine both. And I'm a Sagittarius sun with moon and ascendant in Gemini.
Oh, very intelligent.
Thank you. So what else about me? If you ask me something else, maybe people who are interested in my profile can go just to astrolada.com and read more about me.
Yes.
Let's go to the topic. Maybe it will be more interesting.
Yeah, I want to present the topic. Diana offered it to speak basically because I also get lots of questions. Well, people say, oh, an astrologer told me I have really bad second house and I can never make money, or I have a really bad seventh house. I'll never marry. Am I doomed forever? And of course, this is not the case. Yes, if you have difficult indications there, it will be more difficult than for someone else. It will take more effort, maybe longer time, to be able to acquire or to get better results in regards to what that planet or that house rules in your horoscope. But we're not hapless victims of our horoscopes and circumstances. That's why we get born here, to work on those issues and difficult planets and difficult houses we have in our horoscope, and now today Diana will give us advice exactly how to cope with such indications. Say if you have indications for bad love life, for bad money in the horoscope, or for difficulty having, difficult second house, difficult eighth house, or what to do when you have temporary difficult transits. Maybe you never had issues with money before and you're being slaughtered by difficult transits, and you're having big issues for the last couple of years. How do we overcome them according to the transits? So can you let us know, Diana? Can you tell us, like?
Okay. maybe shall I begin with definite remedies and tip, or shall we begin with some introduction about generally how to take control of our lives under difficult astrological influences?
Yes, that would be great, the introduction.
Okay. I would begin with that I think it's important that we as human beings are able to handle almost any circumstances in our life. And in fact, control is more in our heads than in the objective reality. So we can handle huge tangible and intangible losses, such as dismissal from job, financial failures, unfaithfulness, betrayal, divorce, and even death, although people don't like to talk about it.
But it's part of life.
Yeah, it's a part of life. And of course, some life circumstances need more time to handle than others. Anyway, it's always more about awareness of our potential to cope with difficulties and about our readiness to either accept or change things. In general, all we need to do when we counter difficult astrological influences may be summarized in a few simple steps. First, we should become aware of the situation and of what our thoughts, feelings, and behavior in this particular situation are. Second, we should become aware of our potential to deal with the situation. Third, we should try to change the situation with the available resources. And if we cannot change it, we should try to accept it and readily change ourselves instead.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the change of oneself is the hardest thing.
Yeah.
As we have to learn patience and hard work to transform our perception of the situation, our values, beliefs, and behavior.
Can I give an example?
Okay.
I want to give people an example when you're talking about that, exactly this process, because I have very difficult aspects to my second house of money and eighth house, which are both financial. I have oppositions, Saturn, Mercury, bad dignities there. And from very young age, I had, and in my 20s and early 30s, I always was living month for month for the next salary, not knowing if I can pay the rent. And I was, I would look at my horoscope and I would think that's it, forever I'll be like that. Look at those horrible planets in my second house. And I had an awakening and I said, okay, I'm going to change that. I'm not a victim of my horoscope. And I realized that I had a very negative attitude towards money. I had a very poor self-image. And I didn't feel I deserved money because I came from a poor family and I never saw someone becoming rich from my family. And I thought, this is the state, this is the curse of my family. And then also my father would always repeat, rich people are, they all are scammers, they all got money, they're all mafia people, especially in Eastern Europe. Usually a lot of people that got money would do something dodgy. And I had a very negative attitude towards money. So for about 3 or 4 years, 3 or 4 years it took me. I started visualizing that money is God's way of, that money is not only bad, that money is God's way of God's way of showing his, abundance and love for us. And I had to visualize almost daily and have notes everywhere on my wall and that I create abundance and do affirmations and now I've never seen so much abundance and so much money despite of all the difficult planets in my horoscope. It was a lot of hard work and it was consciously focusing and doing the affirmations, but within 2-3 years of doing that and starting to change my perception of money and my self-worth, I can say I'm rich now. You know, so you can turn a really difficult position into even if you have the most difficult planets. That I've seen people with awful indications in certain houses, and they make lemonade out of lemons. But if you accept a defeatist position, this is my fate, this is how it's gonna be, this is how it's always been, and you try even stop to imagine. I started just imagining that I have money and I'm worthy of it, because I never felt worthy of money. And I started imagining, feeling it, even smelling it, and not only the money, but like the abundance of life generally. And it soon unlocked this negative mentality about finances for me. Sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to give an example of how a person can transform even with visualization, and how the opportunities just started piling and piling and piling around me after that. Financial.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see you very well, because I also have Saturn in my second house.
Oh.
And also my Saturn transits now through my sixth house. So I can see your situation very well. Yes, of course, there are very different techniques and methods that people can use in such cases. For example, I can give you one ancient remedy for scarcity of money.
What is it? I'm sure
ancient people say that it works. It's a remedial ritual, and here it is. You should ask your mother or any other motherly figure in your life to take a white square cloth and put one fistful of rice grains and one square or round silver coin in it. And then she should fold the cloth and tie a few tight knots so that the rice or coin cannot fall off the bundle. You facing the west and she facing the east should ask for the bundle with both of your hands, and she should give it to you with both her hands.
So you ask her for the bundle?
You ask for the bundle facing the west.
Okay.
And she facing the east gives it to you.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Both hands.
Yeah.
She gives it to you with both her hands, and you take it with both your hands.
Yeah.
And with your total heart. That's the idea that you believe it right at this moment that you solve your financial problems.
Mm-hmm.
Then you should touch her feet and take her blessings. Then place the bundle in her cash box and let it be there forever without opening it.
In a what box?
In a cash box.
What is that, a cash box?
A cash box, it's a place where you can save your valuable things.
Oh, okay, something like a treasure box.
Yeah, like a treasure box.
Okay.
Or a place where you can save your money.
Oh, wow. Why do you think such a thing would work at all? Is it more symbolical that you unlock something in your subconscious with those actions? You being a psychologist, you know how these things work better. Or is it like some white magic that is happening? What is it exactly why is it going to help me, doing this? It sounds very superstitious.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes people need to believe in more superstitious things and need to implement some rituals in order to believe in something.
So is that's for our
people
benefit?
Always need explanation for things.
Yeah, so that's for our benefit, for the benefit of our subconscious, rather than some magical energy generated.
Yeah, it might be. Anyway, it would be helpful, because when you do something, instead of just observing passively, it might help anyway.
Trying anything.
Although me personally have never tried this ritual. Maybe I will never try it anyway. I'm still a psychologist, most of all. So I believe that many people just need some incentive. And this ritual may be a kind of incentive for the subconscious and to consciously bring then efforts.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes, absolutely. You're unlocking something from the unconscious.
Anyway, the most important thing is that we just we don't have to observe things, but need to be active. We have free will, and that's one of the most important things. Sorry, but I hear my voice in the so that's why I speak slowly. It's difficult. Okay.
Do you hear it now? Can you hear your voice now? Do you guys hear Diana still? I put on my earplugs again. Earphone. They're not saying, but I guess they're saying no. I think when I put my earplugs, people don't hear you. And now?
Hello, you hear me?
I think people only hear you because they hear you from my laptop. Because
maybe.
I don't know why.
Unfortunately, today Mercury is still operating, as you said.
Yeah, I have to be, guys. You don't hear her sound at all. You just hear her sound from my laptop that I hear. So sorry about that.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, they hear. People can hear now.
Okay. So that's just an example of a ritual. Anyone could try and see the results.
And they can
maybe
also,
people let us know.
And they can also even create their own ritual somehow. Because as long as it's some physical action, isn't it? As long as it's them showing initiative to change things. And personally, how do you deal with your Saturn in the second house?
Okay. I do it in the following way. I'm always prepared for limitations and delays, and just learn to be patient. When I work, I'm working very hard. Sometimes I work day and night long. And in most cases, Saturn produces little in return. Anyway, I'm optimistic about it.
Exactly.
And work even harder.
Yes.
So now, and gradually, in time, I think things get better and better, increasingly better.
Because Saturn only gives with hard work and with patience.
Yeah, it's not less. I mean, not less. It's not. It's the greatest benefit of Saturn, that it gives you patience and it learns you patience.
Teaches you. Yeah.
And Saturn is a kind of an ultimate test. But what would be the nature of the test? How we will experience this test depends on the position of Saturn, of its house and aspects, of course. I may also suggest some affirmations that people can write down and repeat when they get desperate with their Saturn, for example, if it has similar position as mine and yours.
What positions in your experience does Saturn give money problems with?
Excuse me?
What positions, according to your experience, does Saturn give money problems with?
What positions of Saturn give money problems?
Yes.
Yeah. Of course, as I said, is Saturn in the second house. Another position is if Saturn rules the second house.
Okay, like Capricorn.
If your second house is in Capricorn. Also, if Saturn is in your 8th house and opposes your second house, this is also an option.
Yeah, I have that.
When you can have limited resources.
I can have that. And I can tell you that for years, I was hoping that my husband or my partner will save me and will be rich, but it did not work out. With Saturn in the second house, unless I work to help him get rich, he's not gonna. So my partner's always or trying to get money out from others does not work unless I work hard for it myself. So Saturn in the second, Saturn in the 8th, Saturn ruling the second, maybe Saturn conjunct the Lord of the second.
Yeah, also.
Say if Mercury rules your second house and Saturn is opposite, square, or conjunct Mercury, this will mean some blockages, some insecurities, some psychological, psychological material barriers from early on in your life in regards to finances. Maybe Saturn with Venus, in aspect to Venus as well.
And also Saturn in the first house, or in conjunct the ascendant. It is not always related to money then, but maybe may bring problems with self-expression and also with education. There are many other ways, of course, to remediate one Saturn. I can suggest some other.
Yes, please.
Okay. I began with the affirmations. They are very useful in this case. You can write them down and repeat them anytime you don't feel very well during an activated Saturn influence. For example, write down, I'm aware that it is an ultimate test for me. And you can also add, if you are aware of what exactly is being tested, you can specify it in writing. Another useful affirmation is, I'm not alone in my experience. Many people go through similar tests. As for example, now, I know that you went through the same test as mine. Yes. So I know that I'm not alone.
And that makes you not feel like a total loser. It improves a little bit, basically.
Hopefully I'm not.
Yeah, and you can...
And also it's very useful to write down the following. I can be patient and accept the situation and still give the best of myself. And another useful affirmation, maybe I will feel much better, stronger and wiser when this test ends.
And that's usually for Saturn. That's for Saturn transit. Saturn in your second house for love. Saturn transit in your second house for money. Saturn transit in your 10th house for career, first house for health, the 6th house. Depending
for all positions of Saturn, they are very useful.
Yeah, because they don't sound like other affirmations like I'm rich, I'm powerful. They sound very cautious. They sound, I'm not alone in that. This is a test and I'll overcome it. It's kind of very cautious like Saturn is. You don't go with big booming affirmations because you probably will not believe them. Your subconscious will not believe them. You start just with very little ones that just make you feel a little bit better.
Yeah, it's always the case with Saturn because difficult Saturn influences are always about testing reality and learning important life lessons. We usually need to face our fears of becoming adults and of taking responsible decisions of our lives. And it's not easy. Nobody wants to become an adult. Everyone wants to be a child.
Oh yeah,
so
it's more fun.
Yeah, that's why it's always difficult with Saturn. I can give you some other useful tips how to heal difficult Saturn influences.
Yes, please.
For example, you can go to the dentist to improve the status of your teeth. For example, when Saturn is located in your natal chart in the 6th house, or transits your 6th house, it would be appropriate. You can also try to find a job in a large company or organization that has a hierarchical structure and a clear allocation of tasks and responsibilities. You'd better get a managerial position, of course. Be good to your subordinates, particularly if Saturn is in your 2nd or 10th house.
By transit or in your birth chart?
Both.
But what if you're not, I mean, like, okay, Saturn is transiting your 10th house, but you're just not someone to work in a hierarchy, or maybe you just have to do it for a couple of years while Saturn is transiting there.
If Saturn transit your 10th house, you can use the time and heal the planet by that way, of course. If your natal Saturn is there, you are not supposed to work all your life in such a hierarchical structure, but you can apply some other tips, such as, for example, you can take the father's or the leadership's role, or find a father figure to rely on or to consult.
To boss you.
Excuse me?
To boss you around.
Yeah, let's say to boss you around. And that's the case particularly if Saturn is on your ascendant or in the 1st house. For men, I remember now, a very good way to remediate their Saturn transiting their 1st house is to become fathers.
Responsibility, taking responsibility.
Yeah, to take responsibility. Also, it's very useful to develop self-discipline and discipline daily practice. For example, you can keep a diet or fast on the day of Saturn, which means on Saturdays.
Yeah.
You can exercise and work on a regular basis.
You should, yeah. Otherwise, you get depressed with Saturn.
I can see you very well. But we need to do it. We should keep our appointments, commitments, and daily routine. And it should also be good if we can quit a bad habit. Particularly when Saturn transits our sixth house. Yeah, sixth house. Okay. We can quit smoking, drinking, or something else.
Yeah, I have 20 more years.
Which is our
smoke and drink.
We can try at least. Okay, I'll give you another option. If you have, let's say, Saturn transiting your sixth house, because Saturn transiting your sixth house is somehow inauspicious for your health. Mm-hmm. So you should remediate this position. And one such option is to take care of a pet.
Oh, yes.
Preferably, yeah, it's a good option. Preferably, this should be a black dog, a cow, if you have such an opportunity.
Yes, of course. I'll get both.
Or cat. Or yeah, even cat. Yeah. Or maybe crow.
Yeah.
If you can take care.
I guess that's now for cancer.
Or you should be kind or feed a reptile. It's also an ancient remedy. A reptile such as snake or lizard, but of course be careful with the snake and lizards. You can also take fish, and take care of fish.
Yeah. So any kind of pet, it sounds like it's good, as long as you're just being responsible towards someone weaker and less fortunate or more dependable.
Mm-hmm. This is a good way to practice responsibility.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's a great advice, And also, I would say for any Saturn transit, you need to take small steps every day. You don't have to exert yourself and push yourself like to the limit every day, but you have to be consistent every day, 30 minutes. If it's Saturn in your sixth house or first house of health, you don't have to go run a marathon, but you can do every day 30-minute walks. But consistency, you don't have to get out of breath, exhausted. But every day, Saturn just needs consistency every day, a little bit. Saturn doesn't
on a regular basis.
Exactly. That's what Saturn wants to teach. Do something over and over and over every day. And Saturn transits, if you have problems somewhere, and Saturn is transiting that house in your horoscope, every day do a little something. But Saturn transits in your 10th house, career, you're trying to get a job or whatever. Every day post for one place. Every day apply for one job or something, or do one structuring thing in regards to your career, one organizational activity of some sort. What advice would you give for Saturn transiting 7th house or Saturn transiting Venus, the planet of love? What do you do if you have love problems during Saturn transit?
Sorry, but the connection was interrupted and I didn't hear you.
I said
your question.
What advice would you give if Saturn is transiting 7th house of relationships and the person is having love problems, or Saturn is transiting Venus and the person is having love problems?
Yeah. Okay. It's of course one of the inauspicious positions and aspects when Saturn is transiting your 7th house or over your Venus, or in opposition, or square your Venus. But particularly when we have conjunction or Saturn transiting our 7th house, then it's a test for our relationships, particularly our long-term relationships. So what we need to do, hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we need to do is, again, being consistent, regular. If we want to meet someone new, we should be very careful. We should have some meetings first before, let's say, having sex.
Doing it slowly. Slowly.
Yeah, we should go slowly, very slowly. Be very careful, and we should get to know each other very well before having any intimate relationship. Otherwise, we may get really disappointed.
Or maybe we can date someone older. We can date someone older, someone Saturnian.
Yeah.
Or we can date our boss.
Yeah, we can meet. Meet or date somewhere older. Or another option is someone much younger, but he or she should be at least 5 years younger.
Yeah, 5.
Or at least 5 years older.
Yeah.
Respectively. Also, it is important for those who are already attached and have long-term partners. When Saturn is transiting their 7th house, they should be very careful with their relationship. They should be careful with their responsibilities and the allocation of responsibilities in the couple. Everyone should take their pie and their duties responsibly, and should not try to put the responsibilities on the arm of the other. I mean, the other one in the couple.
So if you're having problems in your relationship and Saturn transits the 7th house, you would advise a client, take new responsibility with your partner. Take some extra, maybe get a loan for mortgage or something or whatever, to maybe to get further commitment, more responsibility in the relationship.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
It was in, yeah, now, yes.
Oh, sorry. So when Saturn transits the 7th house, so planets or the Lord of the 7th house of relationships, of Venus, it's I always advise my clients, and I see it happens, that they take if they want to preserve their relationship, they need to take extra responsibilities with their partner in some way, and this makes the commitment further, which Saturn wants to create further commitment. But if one of the partners doesn't want to take the extra responsibilities, it really proves that the relationship, they're not fully committed there, and usually the relationship falls apart.
Yeah. Also, in case that Saturn transits your 7th house, it's a good idea to have a child, because that's a way to take extra responsibility.
Yeah.
That's a way to keep the couple together sometimes.
That's a great advice. Yeah, and I've seen it many times in horoscopes, in transits. Wonderful. People are asking here, what about if Saturn transits the 5th house? What do we do there?
The connection is really good. You hear me now?
Yeah.
I hear you now. Okay.
They say, what about if Saturn transits the 5th house? People are asking.
Saturn transits through the 5th house.
Yeah.
Okay. It's similar to Saturn conjunct your Sun.
Okay.
Usually when Saturn transits your 5th house, your natal Saturn is in your 5th house, it's a really difficult time, because you usually cannot get pleasure from life. You don't feel much like being funny, having parties, going around with friends,
yeah,
so on. So when you have Saturn transit in your 5th house, you may apply all these remedies I already told you about, including the affirmations, and you can specify what do you think the test is about while Saturn is transiting there? Usually when people have natal Saturn in their fifth house, until the age of 30, they don't have much fun.
Yeah.
But after the age of 30, they they have more and more.
There'll be those grannies in the nightclub, you know, playing bingo in the 70s
yeah,
and 60s. You know.
Many try things that other people wouldn't have even imagined. So usually they just need to wait, because pleasures are always sweeter when we have them at the end of it all.
Yeah.
If you want, we can talk about
I'll say that I often sometimes see also Saturn transiting the fifth house might be a time when you take responsibility of children as well.
Yeah, yeah.
People were saying, why would you
Similarly to the seventh house.
People were saying and being upset that you said that why Saturn transiting the seventh house, if a relationship doesn't go good, you should try and save it by having a child. They're saying, isn't that very wrong to try and save a relationship with a child? Did you hear me?
Sorry?
Did you hear me? People asking, why did you say when Saturn transits the seventh house, you should try and save your relationship by having a child? And they said, isn't that very wrong to save a relationship by bringing a child into it?
Yeah, sometimes it's the only solution. But my personal opinion as a psychologist, that it's not a good option to save a relationship.
With a child.
Because, we better wait while the trial is over, the test is over. And if we are able to stay together in the couple, then maybe it's a good time to have a child. But they should better wait. I mean, they should not wait Saturn to leave their seventh house. But if there are any aspects while Saturn is transiting their seventh house, and for example, it opposes the ruler of their horoscope or any other planet in the seventh house, they should first wait for this transit to end. And it's not a problem to have a child when Saturn is transiting your seventh house.
If both people are committed and they love each other, this is perfect. This indicates further commitment and taking further responsibility in the relationship. But if
to deepen the relationship.
Yeah. So what Diana meant is not have a child if your marriage is not going well. She meant when Saturn transits the seventh house, it usually indicates that you're taking some extra responsibility with your partner, which can be a child, for example. But if your marriage is not going well, don't go getting married. Don't go having children now. Allow the test to pass first.
Yeah.
Because this Saturn in the seventh will decide which relationships stay and which go in your life. And only the healthy ones and committed ones stay when Saturn transits the seventh house.
Usually Saturn removes all the other relationships.
Yeah, it removed 2 relationships from my life. I remember when it was in my seventh house, and it cleaned up.
Only what's appropriate for you will remain.
Yeah. Okay, another.
So Saturn is okay in this case.
Yeah. And what about Saturn transit? People asking about different houses.
Okay.
People saying Saturn transiting the fourth house. What do you do to remedy?
Wow, Saturn That's actually one of the most difficult positions for transiting Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
We should wait. Of course, you can practice all remedies that are appropriate for a Saturn, whatever its position is. I told you already, affirmations, going to dentist, practicing regularly daily activities, working, and so on. But when Saturn is transiting your 4th house, maybe a bit more different because you may have problems in the family. Mm-hmm. Particularly if Saturn rules your 8th or 12th house. We can have problems with health of your close loved ones. But you can try to heal this particular influence, because it's really difficult, by the remedies that I already suggested.
And
you can also try with stones.
What is this about dentist? I don't understand, because Saturn rules the teeth.
Yeah, because Saturn rules the teeth.
And you're making a symbolic, actually not symbolic, but some kind of a material gesture of taking care of something that Saturn rules.
It's one side. And the other side is that I believe that astrology, when you have a planet in one house.
Hello. 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 Sorry, it interrupted.
Hello?
I didn't hear anything. You said when you have a planet in one house?
When you have a planet, let's say in your 4th house, when you have Saturn in your 4th house, you can do things that are Saturnian, so that you can heal the planet and replace other things that are worse and might happen instead.
Yeah. So you still bring Saturn energy into your life, but you do it consciously.
Rather than constructively.
Yeah, rather than it coming to you from outside, basically.
What I mean that we should just employ any option in which we can remediate and express constructively Saturn energies. That might be difficult, but that might be not, because if we have Saturn trine or sextile our Sun or Mars, it's a really good influence, and this would make us really stronger, and we can bear very really things that normal people usually wouldn't deal with. Sorry, but I hear my voice and it's really difficult to talk about anything else.
I guess we'll have to, it's technical problems, because people hear you only through my laptop, and I wanted to speak about Uranus transits, Pluto, Neptune. I guess we'll continue this series. People might find it interesting. We can continue it in another, when we sort out the sound problem, but we can continue with because it's so interesting actually to learn how to deal and what to do when you're having difficult transits. Maybe if you can take say a few words, for example, for Saturn transiting Mars.
Saturn transiting Mars. You mean difficult influences?
Yeah, difficult transit.
not soft ones.
No, I have the soft one now, and it's great.
Yeah, it's really great. When you have, let's say, opposition of Saturn to your Mars, or in its when it's conjunction, you'd better go to see your doctor and have your regular medical examination.
Oh, wow.
It's a good way to heal this difficult astrological influence. You may take a blood test, which is, of course, yearly blood test. You can go, I already told you, to dentist, or to take any other examination. If you have some doubts about your health. But you should not delay in this case. You should go to your doctor. Also, if we have a conjunction, we should just be regular, practice sports or work on a regular basis.
Not too much, important. But a little bit every day, repeatedly. Yeah,
repeatedly, every day, regularly. From, let's say, we should have a certain schedule from 8 to 5 every day.
And that's why people find Saturn transit so boring, because usually, even if they don't want to, Saturn puts them in some schedule and puts them in some routine that is more rigorous than normal.
Hello?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. So I think that's enough for a Saturn. Shall we?
A few people asked about the third house. What about when Saturn transits the third house?
The third house?
Yes.
When Saturn transits the third house, it's similar to Saturn conjunct your Mercury.
So, yeah.
And it usually causes problems with speech or communication. So a good way to deal with Saturn the transiting your third house is on one side to remediate your Saturn, and on the other remediate your Mercury. Because when you have difficult astrological aspects of outer planets to personal planets, you can remediate both, but not only the outer planets.
Yeah.
And as long as in the modern society most people use telephones, computers, watch TV, use electric transportation, and high technologies, information technologies, it should not be so stern. I mean, this influence.
You mean they're already using a lot of Mercury?
Yeah, I mean that
to stimulate Mercury.
Using all these technologies, people remediate their Saturn transiting the third house, and it should not be so difficult, such an influence.
Yeah. No, it's true, yeah, because we're so mercurial nowadays in our society. And I think Saturn transits to third house, to Mercury, are easier than others. But I've noticed when Saturn transits my Mercury, I become very negative. How do you deal with the negative mentality of Saturn transiting third house? How do you deal with thinking so negative?
Sorry, but I didn't hear your question. It was interrupted.
I said like when Saturn transits Mercury or the third house, many people feel very negative in their thinking. And they kind of, how do you deal with that?
It's like having Mercury in Capricorn. You see more the dark side than the bright side of things. But it's not so bad. People should know that pessimistic thinking is not always bad, and it gives another view of the world. And you may be really productive while Saturn is transiting your third house or is conjunct your Mercury, because then you may put your thoughts in order. Although they may be more pessimistic. You may not be the joker and the funniest person in the company. But you may work hard, think hard, and structure things in a really good way. You can give your thoughts structure, and it's not bad at all.
It's true, actually. That's one of the transits that can bring a lot of positives, actually. Mine was hard because I have only bad aspects to my Mercury, but mentally I felt bad, but I was super productive at work. I was doing so many articles, and I didn't want to, but I had to, because this was when I was starting my business. And it was, every time was a lot of efforts, but this paid off so beautifully after that. The discipline of writing daily articles and making daily videos paid off a year after that in an amazing way. So it's kind of, all Saturn transits can be very productive when we put the efforts.
Yeah, that's the truth. All transits of Saturn may be really productive. And we should just invest time and energy. And when the test of Saturn ends, we'll feel really good and really stronger and even wiser than we used to be before.
Thank you so much, Diana. Maybe you'd come and join us again to speak about other remedies for other transits like Mars or retrograde Venus, or transit or difficult aspects of Pluto, Uranus. Maybe we can make it like a series, because people are really enjoying that topic. And next time, believe me, it's the first time you're using Google Hangouts, but it's much easier, the connection, when there is a good sound. It's not such a problem at all. We'll try and figure it out, guys, for next time, maybe in a week or a couple of weeks, because that's a great topic and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm learning a lot of new things here as well. And we're probably gonna come next time to speak about Mars transits or Uranus, or we'll decide which ones, and difficult aspects. But for now, it's a little bit too hard, guys, with the sound to continue doing that. But thank you so much, Diana, for coming here and for giving us your amazing knowledge. It's a great topic. We'll sort out the issues, and we'll hope you'd like to come again on the show.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Lada. I hope next time we'll have the chance to have a better connection, and Mercury will not be retrograde nor stationary.
No.
So we'll have the chance to speak softly.
Yeah, because now I have to shout and you have to shout.
Okay, thank you.
And guys, if you want a reading with Diana, you can check her profile at astrolada.com. I will put a link for it. But I can't wait to have you again on the show to talk about remedies for the other planets, because it's an amazing topic.
Well, I have so many prepared for you, so many advices, remedies, and tips for all personal planets and for the outer planets.
Oh, perfect.
It's a mixture of ancient and up-to-date remedies.
So we'll be buying cows and visualizing.
Yeah, we may do both perfectly well.
to use both for our disposal. Well, thank you so much, guys. Sorry for the technical issues. We'll be back possibly in a week or 10 days or something with the next episode of the series. It's a super cool and interesting series. Thank you, Diana. Bye-bye.
Thank you too, Lada. Bye.